So the structure of this video is going to be a little bit different than many of the other videos here on my channel. If you remember a few weeks back, I sat here and talked about an upcoming game called Clair Obscure Expedition 33, where I basically just sat here and just gushed about how excited I am for that game. And that's going to be a really similar vibe to this video. This video, I just want to sit here and talk about an upcoming game that I am so incredibly excited about. Back in like 2016, Atlus announced an upcoming video game that we knew basically nothing about until last year. And that game is Metaphor ReFantazio. To say the least, the team behind this game is a complete powerhouse, taking people who have worked on the Persona games, people who have worked on Neon Genesis Evangelion, incredible artists, incredible music composition. If you're anything like me and you love RPGs and Japanese role-playing games in particular, then this game is looking like it's shaping up to be one of the best games that's going to release this year. With Anime Expo 2024 happening, we have gotten tons of new information about Metaphor ReFantazio. I know a lot of Persona and Shin Megami Tensei fans have been wondering kind of the same question of, is Metaphor going to feel like a Persona game or a Shin Megami Tensei game? And from what we've heard so far from a lot of people who have gotten their chance to play a demo, yeah, if you like the gameplay and you like the feeling of a Shin Megami Tensei game or a Persona game, you're gonna feel pretty much at home in the gameplay department here. I personally haven't actually completely finished any of the Shin Megami Tensei games or the Persona games, but I have gotten to play Shin Megami Tensei 3 Nocturne, as well as dabbled a little bit here and there in Persona 3, 4, and 5. And when it comes to the gameplay, that really is some of the most enjoyable turn-based combat that I have ever experienced at a game. But the gameplay that we do have here in Metaphor seems to be a little bit of a hybrid between action content and turn-based content, and I am incredibly excited just to get my hands on that and see how that feels. Obviously, hybrids in that genre, kind of like with Final Fantasy VII Remake and Rebirth, have proven to be incredibly successful, but what we're seeing in the gameplay here seems to be a little bit different, where you can run up on enemies and attack them in kind of a hack and slash way, and then you can also jump into a turn-based battle with that enemy. And just from a gameplay perspective, like I said, I am just really curious to see how this is really going to play out whenever I'm holding the controller. I just personally don't feel like I've played anything like that before, and I'm pumped. But gameplay aside, the main thing that I really want to talk about, because I am so incredibly excited about all of this, is just the world and the art design and the art direction and just its whole vibe and style, and this remake of fantasy, ReFantazio. You know, it's kind of this remolding, this shaping of what we kind of view fantasy to be as, and adding so much flair and so much originality to its fantasy setting. Thanks to the wonderful artwork in this game, it genuinely looks like everything that we are seeing in the game is like hand-drawn and just brought to life in this game, with very little differences between the drawing art style to the video game graphical fidelity. The enemy designs, the character designs, the world designs, the mode of transportation, the menus. We all know that the team over at Atlus, who's responsible for all these games, they know how to make a really sleek menu system. And obviously, just looking at the menus here in Metaphor ReFantazio, this is no exception. Everything here looks so stylish and so sleek, and kind of like it's all etched in metal, so to say. It's so kind of grimy and gritty, but beautiful and super like flowery all at the same time. It really is a very unique art style, and I just love that they are putting so much emphasis in the art direction of this game, not just in its visuals, but literally in its world design as well. I'm so pumped to just explore this world. When I first started making some short form content for the YouTube channel and for my TikTok and stuff, I gave a very brief first impressions on Xenoblade Chronicles Definitive Edition on the Nintendo Switch. One of the things that I really appreciate is the focus on art direction over graphics. If you can strike gold with both the graphical fidelity and its art direction at the same time, I mean, that really is a great formula if you can achieve that. But personally, I just look at the state of gaming that we are in right now, and we are dealing with some of the most powerful hardware that we have ever seen so far, and we basically just have nothing but the sky as the limit as far as what we can create artistically in a video game. I personally don't mind so much if a game has really poor graphics, so long as they put in a lot of effort in designing a world that you can only experience through a video game. The hyper-realistic nature of Call of Duty games or Horizon or Death Stranding, I think a lot of that is really impressive, and it's all great to look at, and I like to play those games. But personally, I look at games like Metaphor ReFantazio or Xenoblade Chronicles, and these are worlds that have been created specifically for exploring in a video game. You have novels and some TV shows and movies and things of that nature that can convey a vast, unique, original world, or even movies like, Avatar, right? I love just going full force in creating a world that is so unique that you can only recognize it from that specific thing. Nothing else is like that thing. Nothing else is like Xenoblade Chronicles. Nothing else is like the Avatar films and its structure of the world that is Pandora in that universe. And so far, just from what I am seeing here in Metaphor ReFantazio, this is looking like an incredibly unique world that obviously, yes, is very fantasy, but even in its title, ReFantazio, like I mentioned, it's kind of this remake, this remolding, this alternate version of what we conceive to be fantasy. There's tons of science fiction elements as well. There's like skateboarding and things like that we see in the game as far as traversal goes. There's just so much here that seems very futuristic, as well as seeming very, I don't know, like the fantasy elements are just not like anything that I've ever seen before. Now that people are getting their hands on some demos at events like Anime Expo, it's great to see that we are finally getting some traction for this game, because for a long time I felt like people kind of noticed this game but didn't really care about it too much, and I don't know, I'm just finally all aboard that hype train for this game. And like I said in the beginning of this video, this really has shaped up to be one of my personal most anticipated games of this entire year. So if there's anybody out there at Atlus watching this video, hit me up. I would love to get my hands on a review copy of this game. I am super ready to spend however many hours it takes just to fully get just engrossed into this world and just to play all of the gameplay here. I think that's kind of one of the other reasons too why I'm so excited about this game over games like Persona and the Shin Megami Tensei stuff. That kind of realism of the high school nature and stuff. I personally, it's not that I'm against it in any way, but I personally, if I can find something else that is a bit more fantastical in its nature, not something that I can relate to basically in any regard, the idea of a video game, of fully just getting lost in something that is incredibly separate from what the real world has to offer. This game definitely seems to offer that. So I'm excited. I'm so excited to play this game. That's the only thing that I can say. I'm just super pumped. So if you are pumped with me, go ahead and let me know down in the comments below how pumped you are to play this game. Are you a fan of the SMT series or the Persona games? Or do you like that games focus on art style over graphical fidelity? Like, what's your opinion on all of that sort of stuff? I'm just so pumped to play this game, and I'm excited to talk about it more with all of you guys. So go ahead and comment all of your thoughts down below. And while you are down there, go ahead and join the Discord, because that is another wonderful spot to communicate about games like this with me and a ton of other like-minded individuals. And while you're down there joining the Discord, go ahead and hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, and hit the notification bell as well, so that you are notified whenever new videos like this go up. But yeah, with all of that said, I just can't help but just sound like a broken record and just talk about how pumped I am for Metaphor ReFantazio. The colors, the graphics, everything here just looks so up my alley, and I love the art design. I love the character design and all of that stuff. So anyways, with all of that said, I will see you all in the next video. Bye bye.